Hello, have you heard about Rejuvenate 2024? No? Come on! Rejuvenate 2024 is an amazing event put together for married couples in the UK, happening in October 11 and the 12th in Dudley. You're going to be hosted in an exclusive hotel where you spend amazing time with the love of your life. If you've not registered, please reach out to me on the number you're seeing in this video. You can send a direct message to me as well, and we are so happy to get you on board. Thank you.
Okay, so now let us not lose track of that storyline. So did you eventually have to go, because he went for the interview? Did you eventually have to go for the interview as well?
No, I didn't go for interview.
You didn't go. So why did he have to go for the interview then?
No, because I think it's just the decision of the caseworker.
Okay.
I checked his application for one or two reasons, because then he was working in Access Bank, so they had to do some verification for him or something like that. And I think they just said, they asked him what's the name of the CSO. Then he told them, just asked a few questions that they just need to know that, his application is valid.
Okay, so now following the trail now. So you've gotten the visa, you've gotten the tickets. Now, how did you break the news? How did you break the news? So those of you, because you have 3 jobs, don't forget.
Right.
You have 3 jobs you're doing. How did you break the news to them? How was it?
It was hard, definitely. Now, the third job, because it's more of a consultancy job, the one at the Murtala Airport.
Yeah.
So I don't think that was hard for me to do. It's just for me to say, whatever it is, if you guys want to keep, I can do the work anywhere. That time there is nothing, but mainly you can consult or say them, if this is not working, just do this, because that's literally what I was doing for them, except if they have major issues.
Okay.
Then the training, all I had to do was just to try and wrap up my batches, so because then you have different program running, you have student doing MCSE, you have student just doing MCP. Then at the same time I was doing the system administration for them. So I had to train somebody, to
who will take over your position.
Take over my position with that. Yeah. And the other one, I didn't tell them I was traveling, because the thing is, I don't have to go to the office every day.
Okay.
So I spoke to my manager to say that, this is what is happening. He said, HR is not going to find this funny, because knowing fully well that the guy pulled strings for him to pull me off from that company to come for him, then it's going to be like a kind of have a letdown. That maybe if I can push it down to like 3 months, give myself 3 months and all that.
Yeah.
So I just thought about it. I said, I don't know what I'm expecting to get in UK anyway. I enjoyed my life in Lagos. So, and that was it. So eventually I spoke to him last minute to say this is what is happening. Then the other one that I didn't tell, because when I got to the UK, I remember I called him after like 3-4 months. Then he was still telling me, no, come to the office, let's talk about it. And
so he never knew you had actually left?
No, he didn't know, because the whole work was going on, because I was still speaking to boys to say, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And I was still being paid, or what.
For 4 months?
Yeah, he didn't know. So, and he told me, come to the office. He's one Indian man that time, Mr. Ramesh. Come to the office. And I was like, Ramesh, I'm not in the country. He said, what do you mean you're not in the country? I said, because I'm not. But he said, I just said to him, I said, I'm sorry, because things happen. But he said, when did you? Then I had to tell him to say this. He said, so have we been able to do it? Then I told him, said, yeah, you have boys there. I just tell them to say, do this, do this, do this. This thing don't go down. It's only when there's a major issues, hardware, because then you have Windows NT 4.0 server that time, and it really breaks. So all you're doing is just maintaining it. Okay. Now we do patches. There's nothing like patches then. So far it's working, and boys are doing the backups, because that's literally what you're doing the backup on tape. So you're doing the backup, you're doing all those things. So you literally don't have to worry anything. The application is running, everything is running. Then he just said, oh, if you can do that for 4 months, how long do you think you can do that for? When are you coming back to Nigeria? I said, I don't have plans to come back to Nigeria.
Wow.
Then he said, okay. And he just ran down like that, you know. He just paid me to like 1 year after. Then I just told them, no, I can't do it again.
Wow. So guys, you can literally see that the person we have on board today is a person that knows his onions when it comes to IT work. He's actually been doing it for a couple of years, and you can tell from the way he talks that he knows what he's doing. So now, getting to UK. So getting to UK,
Right.
how was it a soft landing? Was it a hard one?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a soft landing. No, because at some point I was thinking, I think I need to go back to Nigeria.
Okay, so I want because obviously now I know a lot of people who actually also are in the same trail with you. They have taken the decisions now, and they are big guys in Nigeria.
Yeah.
But they have to take this step. You never had interest of taking this step. Were you married at that point? No. So you never had. Some people will tell you they transition because of the future of their children, of course, which is actually very, very okay as well. There's a good future in Nigeria, so to say, but at the moment we can't say that. So a lot of people actually, I want them to also, because they also, of course, they will be watching this. I want them to also learn from this as well. So you were doing really well in Nigeria. You came to UK. You even felt like going back. How was it when you came around? What prompted you to say, Amo, it's like, if I can't go forward, I have to just return back home.
Yeah. Back then, I think first thing was the kind of work I was doing when I got here. And everything that was just happening. Because I remember I was living, when, the person I was meant to actually stay with, getting to UK, even though we had a pre-plan, everything was just there. I got to the airport, Muritala Airport. Then his phone was dead.
Really?
It didn't, because his phone was dead. And before then, I think the last thing he said to me was, oh, I didn't tell my wife that somebody's going to come and stay with us. And my wife has gone for some vigil and all that, so I won't be able to. But I said, well, I thought we already had this thing cooked up.
Wow.
And I was just at the airport. I was like, okay, what am I going to do? And right from there, you can imagine you with the kind of, I didn't lack anything. Why would I be?
Wow.
So I had to call one of my uncles to say, oh, I'm traveling to the UK. Do you know anybody that I can stay with? And he said, okay, give me a minute. Let me call somebody. And he called the person, and the person said, oh, I brought in. Yeah. Tell him to come in. And that was it. So that first thing, what that person did to me that time, that thing actually put me off to say, why am I even going to stress myself?
Wow. Yeah, that's enough reason for you to turn back.
Yeah,
right?
But then when I got here, it wasn't anything I was expecting, because then obviously you go to uni, you come back, you expect for you to be working. There's no limitation to 20 hours work or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing like they're tracking you if you don't come into class or whatever thing it is. You are here. That's the way it works that time. Then obviously, because if you don't, the only money I was relying on that time was my salary I was getting from Nigeria.
Okay.
And because it wasn't easy for me to get work and all that. And the only work that was available that time is either you do factory job or you do cleaning or you do peke.
What is peke?
Oh, peke are those people that in club that spray people with perfume.
Okay.
So when you spray them, they just give you some token, and that's peke.
Wow.
So he said, you do peke, you do all those things. So there wasn't anything like, I mean, the country has really moved now because if you look at it, you see people in professional jobs and all that. Then it was just limited people.
But people still do factory jobs though.
Yeah, people still do it, but I'm just saying like that time, predominantly that's what you really see. But now, I mean, there's hardly a place you look up on directories, on global address lists of your company that you don't see Nigerians, you don't see people's name that you're familiar with or something like that. So things has actually moved, from where we were that time to this time. Because I think it was after us was when they started the HSMP.
Okay.
Which is the highly skilled migrant program.
Yeah.
Maybe then after then, that was when we now started seeing this transition of Nigerians' name, coming into industries and all that. So that time, you don't even have much of a luxury, so you can only do what you find yourself to do. And that's why I ended up doing those factory work that time, So it got to a point I had to forget whatever thing I have in Nigeria, anything about Nigeria to, out of it. Wow. Because at the end of the day, you are here now, and I'm not even thinking I just could not go back, because I just thought like, unless I can't get those, it's not like you can't get because they know your values.
Yeah.
But the work we do that time, I do say that time that it's kind of like mathematics. In mathematics, if you don't practice, you lose touch. And that's exactly what we do that time. And we know that, okay, if you're doing this, because then Microsoft is now coming out with some changes, they're transitioning. I mean, back then it was Windows 98, and now they're transitioning to Windows 7 and all those things. Windows 7 actually came in, and that was a stable market for them. But so most of those things, they were coming in with new features. So if you don't do it that time, because the continuity already, my continuity don't turn to factory work, So I was like, even if I go back to Nigeria, I don't think I can get that. I don't think I can fall in line again. So
what you're telling me now is you've done factory work before.
Yeah, I did factory work. I did I did something where you have to kind of like horticulture. They were building in a building. I think then I had CSCS card. I don't know if they still use it now. So if you have CSCS card, you can work in a building, you can do all that. So I did all that. I did cleaning. I did all that. Yeah, it was just because I work in the bar, So because as a student, all you have to do, you have to pick whatever thing comes your way. So at the end of the day, and there's no way you can do it, And
so how long? So for how long did you do this for?
I think that should be around like 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years.
So to stabilize yourself took you like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, that time it took like 4 or 5 years. And I think in between, obviously, I met my wife, then moving together, then kids, then start looking at responsibilities.
Yeah, that was a point you mentioned where you have to stay in a barber shop.
Yes, correct. Right. So that story. So what happened was, I said I called my uncle. My uncle said I can stay with this person.
Yeah.
Right. So I got to this place in Bermondsey, London that time, the place that my uncle, that was staying with these people. It's so funny. So these people, they're so nice and all those things. They just came to me and said, because I didn't know what they were doing.
You mean the family your uncle called?
Yeah. I didn't know what they were doing. They weren't actually doing a good job. They weren't doing a straight job.
Wow.
So all I noticed is always me most of the time at home. These people somebody would just come in and say, drop something for me to say, oh, can you keep it for your uncle, whatever thing. I just keep it. I didn't know what they were doing.
Wow.
The man just came to me and said, Larry, you can't stay here today because the police are coming. And that's one thing about it. How did he know the police were coming? That's the first thing I didn't know. So I was like, sorry, boss, I don't understand. What's going on? He said, I don't tell you my own. You can't stay here. Find a place for you to stay.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, now let's see. So at the end of the day, there's nothing I could do. I'm not going to be on the streets. So I had to call that my friend that actually, the one that I said we came together.
Yeah.
So I called him Then he said to me that he's gonna, because that time his auntie has got one shop in Peckham Rye, a salon shop. Then he said, the only thing I can do is he will sneak me into that salon shop in the night so that I can stay there. Then in the morning, I have to go out.
Wow.
And then there was no school session, so there was no school. There was no work except the work that you find yourself to do.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, the owner of the shop didn't know I was staying there, and I just had to stay there overnight. And when the pressure was so much, I had to call one of my friends in Cardiff that time. I was like, Oga, I don't think I can do this. I think I need to go back to Nigeria.
Wow.
Then he was like, oh, don't worry, just come to my place in Cardiff. So then he was working with BT. So I went to Cardiff, and I just left like one day. Then the second day, the landlord just opened the door like that.
And found you inside.
And found me inside. He said, who are you?
Oh, the landlord had a key to the house.
Yes, and even my friend didn't know this guy always coming like that to the house.
What?
Yeah, things happened that time because there were few people like me. So they just use us as a pawn that time. They feel like, okay, we can do anything and all that, because right now I don't think anyone can do that, because you will know that now we got a big community, so it's quite different.
Of course.
So this man just came and said, no, who are you? I said, what do you mean, who am I? I said, I came to say hello to my friend and all that. And he said, no, you can't stay here.
Wow.
You'll have to go out from this house because I didn't rent the place to you.
Wow.
And so you can imagine this moving from one place to another.
It's a lot.
You got to stay. I said, no, maybe I said something just to follow me this time, because it was hard. It was very, very hard.
Just sorry to quote you. I have to be sincere with you. I mean, your movement from one place to the other, I bet if I were to be in your shoes, I would have been discouraged.
Definitely.
And that is just to tell you that you have a very strong zeal, despite the fact that you would never want to come to UK in the first place.
Correct.
Now you get inspired to come by your friend. Now, at that point, at the point when you landed in UK, it's now turned to you and you alone to make the decision of your life.
Exactly.
Wow, that's a lot, guys. I can tell you.
And even my family didn't know I was in the UK.
Your family didn't know you were in the UK?
Yes, because all they know is I've been myself since after industrial trading. I've been doing well. So I left the house, so there was no day. I rented a place in Lekki, so there was no place. I only go to say hello to them, like, maybe sometimes I just felt like...
And so they didn't see you for a couple of months. Oh, obviously you were calling them, right?
We do talk on the phone. But me, because I work Monday to Sunday, so I've been busy. So there's no time. So maybe one of the days I would just go to them and say, Emma Bino, you've just been working all that. But everything was going on that fine. Life was going on. So there was nothing to like... So I'm just doing my normal life. So they didn't know I was in the UK.
Wow, guys.
Or they didn't know. They didn't know.
Guys. Now, this part of him, I'm just getting to know you today. So we are all like just getting to know you today. So after what happened in Cardiff.
Yeah.
What? Because obviously there would definitely be a turning point.
Yeah.
To who you have become now, because obviously I can't tell you who he is now, because if you know this man, you definitely, for people that know him, you definitely know what I'm talking about. I mean, if he has passed through all this journey, that's the essence, that's the sweet part of this interview. You see, his movement from being successful in Nigeria, coming to UK, and now moving from one pillar to pole. Man, being smuggled into the barbers or the salon. Oh God! All right. So what? After what happened in Cardiff, what happened next?
So after Cardiff, because the uni then was meant to be University of Sheffield.
Okay, because I was about even asking, is it
Yeah.
Wolverhampton? How far was Cardiff to your uni? How far was wherever? Because I'm very sure you didn't stay within the same locality.
No.
How far were they to the university?
Because remember I did say the person I meant to stay with didn't pick up phone.
Yes.
And that was meant to be in Sheffield, which was where the uni is.
Okay.
So the person didn't pick up phone. So obviously I didn't have a place. So the first place for me to land was that London. And since the police came there, they said I need to leave the place. I had to be
Where your uncle's friend was.
Yeah. And then that's when my friend...
Did the police meet you at home?
No, they didn't meet me. Because these people already told me they're coming in. So everybody had to leave because they know what they're doing.
Okay.
You know? I don't know how they even know they're coming in. So, but that's
because they definitely have the information.
So anyway, so from there, so the Sheffield thing wasn't even my house. So the school thing was not even where we even talking. I was even far from it. Because this person that meant to accommodate me, not even accommodate, because it was just a plan for me to stay for a while, maybe a week or something, and get a place.
Okay.
But with all these things that's been going on, so going there was just like not even an option for me. So when this landlord came, and then I had to, somebody now reached out to me to say from that London place. It's now said that uncle that told me that they're coming today. I said, oh, he's got a brother in Sheffield that they're looking to rent a place in Sheffield.
Okay.
That now, if I don't mind, I can go and be staying with his brother. We're all just going to rent a place together and we're all going to be living together. We'll be paying and all that.
Okay.
It's because originally, remember, where I'm meant to be was Sheffield.
Sheffield, yeah.
So now, when the Sheffield news now came in from Cardiff, when the landlord said I have to leave the place, so it was an easier decision for me
to make.
So I just took National Express straight to
down.
Sheffield. And because this man, his brother already rented the place, all I had to do is just for me to be paying for my room.
That's correct.
And I think it was like 4 of us. It was 4-bedroom house that time.
Okay.
Then 4 of us just kind of, these other 2 people just came to join us and we just started paying for the house. And that's when, and then because I had to get a job at the same time going to school, and that's why I started the factory work. And so I was able to then start paying for my rent and, you know, doing all those things like that time, because then, maybe now welcome to UK.
So that was like the space of how many years since you came to UK at that time?
No, it was months.
Month.
Yeah, it was months, because remember I was in London. I didn't stay there for long.
Yeah, so all this movement were within months of coming to UK.
Yeah, I didn't. Apart from that first place I stayed, all through before I got to Sheffield, I didn't get a single. I didn't even rest, because like imagine like that barber shop. The question is, where are you gonna bath? So then they had this street place in Peck. They had this like a toilet, all those things in Peckham, right? So you just go in there quickly, run your shower, and just roaming about, because there was nothing you could do. There was no work. There was no nothing. Wow. There's only whatever thing that comes in. So you're just praying that the day should come by, so the night could come, so I can go in and get a sleep. Wow. But during the day, you just like kind of like roaming about, so to say. So
guys, so for some of you that are getting to know this part of this man today, of course, the Yorubas have a popular saying. They said, "Koro to dayo, ujutiri." I mean, so before God become what it is, it has passed through fire. So obviously, that is one point that you need to hold on to. I mean, as you go on. So month when it came to UK was very, very tough. For me, I would definitely have backed down if I was living very well in Nigeria before I came. And the truth of the matter is this, guys, when you are facing a hard time don't last. Tough people do.
Yes.
Tough people do. Hard time don't last. Tough people do. And they tell you that these also will come to pass. A lot of people like us, we were so fortunate to be in this country at a time when we don't have to work in the factory. A lot of people have said something about working in the factory. They said it's a whole lot. I have not worked in the factory before. I have not worked in the factory before. But what was the experience like working in the factory?
No, then I was working in Cadbury in Sheffield. So what we do is obviously Cadbury is a sweet company.
Yeah.
So You just walk in line as the sweet is coming. You use your hand, rub it just to make sure. It depends on the department that you work in.
Okay.
They have jellies. They have all these kind of all those things. So you just as it's coming, you just passing the line, and that's it.
Wow.
So the hard job of it is you stand, which is very hard, and you just say like your normal job. You don't even think about it. Then at the end of the week, once they pay you, that's what you look out for.
So let's quickly touch on your how you get to where you are today.
Right.
Let's quickly touch on it. I wish you could actually have another episode. But the truth be told, getting this man is actually very, very difficult. Not really easy for us to get him on here. And guys, let's quickly take this break. Then we'll be right back. Okay.
Sparks FM.
Repeat the beats.
Sparks FM.
Repeat the beats.
Sparks FM.
Repeat the beats.
Sparks FM.
Repeat the beats.